Let's get salty!
Hey everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video. More full screen mode, so a little bit more of a serious video, as you can tell by the thumbnail and the title as well. Today I wanted to talk about a story about Hearthstone saving my life. I made a twit longer about this a few years back, so if you follow me there, and I've talked about it in some other videos, you might be aware of it, but it dawned on me I haven't really talked about this in detail on my YouTube, and I'm all about being very open with everybody and sharing my stories and you know, just if in the case that it ever helps anybody. Like, I deal with anxiety and depression on a daily basis, and I thought I'd go through how Hearthstone kind of helped me through a lot, and how people in the Twitch community, Hearthstone community, and YouTube have helped get me to a point in my life where I feel like I am at the best I have ever been. And I just thought I'd share it with you. Maybe it helps somebody out there. Maybe it's just an interesting story to see how I've got to where I'm at. Or you just don't care and you'll move on. But either way, I just want to share it with you guys. And so let's get into it. In 2016, I developed a really bad back injury. I had a dislocated disc in my spine, which led to severe pain that went all the way down my left leg. It was sharp, super sharp nerve pain all the way down to my left leg, and I had numbness in my left leg, and I basically couldn't walk. I would walk for like maybe a couple minutes, and I would be crippling pain, and I would have to stop. And eventually I was just diagnosed that I needed back surgery. And while I'm in Canada, we have free healthcare, but it comes with a price of, if you're not like an emergency situation, you're going to have to wait for your surgery. And I waited from like March that year until like November of that year. So I was effectively bedridden for a year straight on constant painkillers, kind of secluded from everyone. I was living with my girlfriend, but I ended up becoming very attached to Kripp. If you're not aware of who Kripp is, he's this Hearthstone streamer, and I was very, whatever, lurker in his channel, but I went onto his Discord, to his sub chat, and started yapping away and became friends with him and started dueling with him in like 80 gold matches. You might be able to find like games. There's games of us battling on his YouTube channel, like the all legendary duel. If you look up his 96,000 dust deck, I'm battling him there. So that was a lot of fun. It meant a lot to me. It helped get me through some really rough times, and I eventually had my surgery, and then I went through physio, and I was like physically ready to go back to my job, which I was a accounting student, almost done my CPA. I needed to just basically write the final exam, but I just couldn't do it. When I went to work, I went back the first day, and then the next day I couldn't get out of bed. I couldn't deal with the outside world anymore. I just had severe anxiety. I'm like, I can't leave. And basically I was diagnosed with like severe depression. I was put on leave from my work again, went through counseling, was put on medication, all this stuff, and it just wasn't really doing the trick. Like, the counseling wasn't working, the medication was helping, but I just couldn't get back to work. I couldn't get on a regular schedule. I couldn't get my mind to work. And I had people in Kripp's community basically say, why don't you try streaming? Why don't you try streaming? You seem like you're okay at the game, and I have my similar kind of spiel and rants in the Discord chat, like, maybe be entertaining. Why not give it a try, and maybe it'll help you get back on your feet. So I bought a computer, I started streaming, and I fell in love with it. I started being able to communicate with the outside world again. I got a reason to get out of bed, and I fell in love with it. And I even did like duels against Kripp on our stream. We'd like each be streaming it. That was really cool. And I was like in a Twitch Rivals event, an arena event, and I felt like I was mentally ready to go back to work. I felt like I was back, and it was all through Hearthstone. It was all through streaming, through the Twitch community. All this stuff helped get me back, and I went back to work, and I was going to stream part-time, and within 2 weeks I was no longer employed by my accounting firm, because I didn't want to go back anymore, because I wanted to keep streaming. Even though I wasn't really making enough to make streaming work, I just fell in love with it, and I just kind of committed to it. And it wasn't the anxiety, depression anymore. It was just, I had this newfound passion. Like, I can always finish my CPA later if I want. That's not going to go away, and that's what I did. And basically, the streaming thing worked out. I became a partner. I joined a team for a while, and that's where the twit longer kind of leaves off, with me thanking Twitch, Kripp, the Hearthstone community for helping me rebound to get my butt back into gear and find the passion. But there's a part 2 to this story, because, anxiety and depression doesn't go away. It doesn't go away. In my tweet longer, I mentioned that I'm no longer on medication. That was a mistake because I had a big relapse because of that. So I ended up going back on medication, and I had some other setbacks, like the whole Bell's palsy thing. I talked about that in the blacklisting video when I had Bell's palsy and half my face shut off and I didn't know what was going to go on. I had the Hearthstone community step up. I had Disguised Toast step up when, you know, the Hearthstone community manager or the whole Hearthstone team didn't really seem to care about my plight at all, which is fine, whatever. I guess that's their thing. But I had Toast, I had another prominent Hearthstone creator, and never said their name before, but I don't think he'll care. I've talked to him about it so many different times. Regis stepped up and helped me out a lot. Regis Kilbin, back then, even though that was like a year or two ago, stepped up so much and helped me out, talked to me, even like financially helped me without ever, like, the guy was ridiculous. Regis is such a great human being, it's unbelievable. And they stepped up and again made me feel like I belonged in. Then the battle pass thing happened last winter. That felt like that was at the point where I was like at a crossroads again, where I was feeling really down. I had recently broken up with my girlfriend of 11 and a half years. I didn't know what I was doing in my life anymore. Everything I had built was with her in mind, and I'm like, what am I doing? And then I make this rant video about the battle pass. It blows up. I'm not expecting literally anything about this because, like, my videos, like, they did fine, got thousands of views or whatever, but all of a sudden this thing is like 100,000 views. It's blown up on Reddit, and it goes from people, like, you know, on Reddit praising it to all of a sudden they're attacking me there. And then on Twitter, I get attacked by I don't know how many different Hearthstone content creators saying all these horrible things about me and going after me because I called a lot of them spineless, which was way over the line. And I did apologize eventually for that. But I had so many different creators going after me. I'm like, what am I doing? Like, I'm streaming a game where everybody hates me. The community manager hates me. Blizzard hates me. It seems like half the community hates me. And it's like, what am I doing? And then out of nowhere, and this is the last person I want to thank the most as well, stood up for me, is Frodan. Frodan tweets out. Frodan puts out a tweet, quote, retweets our video saying, you know, watch this video, listen to what he has to say. He is very passionate about the game. He loves the game more than most people I've ever known, and this is not right. The battle pass needs to be better, along these lines. I'm just paraphrasing, but it's effectively what his tweet was about. He didn't have to do this. He's friggin' contracted by Blizzard to cast and do all this stuff. Like, if anything, he's putting himself in harm's way, but he didn't care. He just saw somebody in me that he saw what you guys see, someone that cares about the game, loves the game, wants it to be better, and he stood up for me when he had absolutely no reason to, other than just through the goodness of his heart. And that, from that moment, sorry, anytime I talk about this, like, this literally was so huge for me that just made the world to me. Frodan stepping up, somebody I look up to, that I've been following since day one, since I've been Hearthstone. You think of Hearthstone, anything esports, anything any reveal events, you think of Frodan, and he stood up and put himself out there, and he had creators attacking him for defending me. He had multiple creators attacking him, and he didn't back down. He didn't back down. He stood up for me, said amazing things, and the battle pass has eventually changed. It's a lot better now. A lot of stuff in the game has changed. It's a lot better now. And I couldn't believe that he did that. And since then, and because we have a new expansion coming up, and again, I'm going to feel down and sad when I'm excluded from everything, because I'm always excluded. Every single expansion, I never get involved with any of the events because we speak up, you know, like, even if we say good stuff, it doesn't matter. And I'm always sad every expansion, every time there's a new expansion coming out, I'm always sad that I'm not involved. But you know what, when people like Frodan go out on a limb like that for you, people like Regis Kilbin go out on a limb for you, help you out, it just makes this so freaking worth it. When you guys, like, tens of thousands of people watch my videos every single day, it blows my mind. And it's you guys have just done so much for me, and mentally I'm always going to struggle with anxiety and depression. It doesn't go away, but I feel like every year, especially through what we've built and the relationships I've built, that it's getting easier to deal with. When I have a setback, I had a setback last month where I kind of was just feeling really bad, and I kind of went on a little bit of a tirade on Twitter. It wasn't one of my old terrible tirades, but just one where like I'm at a crossroads. Like I don't know what to do. I had Frodan literally DM me, reach out to me, and just talk me down. He actually, again, out of nowhere, just DM me, talk me down, said amazing things, gave me advice, and within like the next few hours I felt good, and I actually restarted my stream that I had stopped because I was feeling so down. I've learned to, if I'm feeling really down, just to stop streaming and not make it worse. But Frodan within like a few minutes made me feel that much better. I started my stream and it was a really good second stream and felt really good. And again, when I've had those setbacks, they're not nearly as bad, and it's because of you guys, because of people in the community that just have helped me so much. And I'm still on my medication and all that stuff. I'm still trying to better myself. I have my flaws. I have as many or more flaws than anybody else, but I keep working on it. I keep trying to improve. And I'll just use the words the community manager told me. He believes that everybody can basically, you know, come around and prove themselves. He believes everybody has a chance to become a better person and to redeem themselves. And I believe that too. And I feel like I keep getting closer to that, and I hope I do. And you guys are a big part of that. Hearthstone community is a big part of that. Twitch is a big part of that. And of course, my family and friends who always have my back are a part of that. And I just thought I'd share that with you if it helps you out at all. I hope, you know, I'd be happy if this just helps one person. So thought I'd share that story with you so it's out there in video form and not just in twit longer buried in a tweet from like several years ago. And yeah, let's look forward to the next year or so of Hearthstone, the next year finishing up. And I'm excited every day. I'm excited to do what I do, and you guys and everyone makes it possible. So thank you so much. And if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. And more importantly, always stay salty, my friends.